Hi, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Okay, today we're going to make something a little different, very different to me, but something that's like right up my alley. Um, my friend and colleague at work, Jeff, he is from the Cleveland area and in a nearby city called Akron, Ohio. They have these salads called cheese salads. And the salad is so ubiquitous with Akron that it's actually, they used it for um, the minor league baseball team. It's called the Rubber Ducks because it's called the Rubber City, because that's where a lot of tires were made. But um, they changed it temporarily to the cheese salads, was for one day. So this started in a restaurant called Luigi's. It's just a very simple green salad that has a nice Italian dressing. It's very simple salad, but I'm going to make my version a little bit more amped up. Okay, a little bit more focus on Italian flavors and Italian ingredients. Okay, so we're going to start by making the croutons. Okay, and to make the croutons, I had an old baguette from Trader Joe's that I just cut up into cubes. This is stale. It's not good eating anymore, but it's going to make perfect croutons. So I also melted a half a stick of butter in the pan there. We're going to make the dressing too, and then we'll come back and we will prepare the vegetables. Okay, so let's take a look at, just going to clear some space here. Um, my garlic has gone not so great. So I'm going to have to restock my garlic. So I'm just going to clear that out of the way while we let the butter melt. Okay. So this salad is mainly mozzarella cheese, which, that sounds like my idea of a good salad. Okay. So we're melting the butter in the pan here. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic salt in there. I'm going to put a little of my pepper seasoning in there, give it a little heat. And then I'm going to put some parsley in there as well, just for color. And then we're going to pour that over top of these bread cubes. We're going to toss it. Then we're going to put it on the tray to make the croutons. So let me preheat the oven there, so that that's ready to go. Okay. So that's just about done. Let's do the let's do the salad dressing. Okay. So for this salad dressing, you can do this by hand, but I have this great um, hand mixer here that is really good. So I'm going to do it with that. Okay. And then that way I also have this pitcher. Part of this salad, in addition to all the cheese, is that it has a lot, and I mean a lot, of dressing. So this is going to make a pint of dressing, and we're going to do the double saucing of the dressing. Okay. So let's start by putting in the vinegar. And then we're going to pour in the olive oil. And I'm going to put some of the olive oil in this this measuring cup, because I also need, to get this started, I need 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Okay, so there's one. There's 2. Okay. So we're going to emulsify that. And actually, I'm going to also put our butter's melted. So I'm going to take the heat off. And I'm going to put just some of this fresh garlic. And you've seen this device before. This is my, what's it called? Microplane garlic grater and slicer. So I'm going to use that. You know what? Let's just do these um, croutons. Now, I've noticed I have the bread in the bowl. If you pour in the butter and then toss the bread over top, what's going to happen is you're not going to get the correct amount of coating that you need for the croutons, and everything will go down to the bottom. Okay, so you really want to have the bread in there first. That way, as this butter trickles down, it's going to get as much coverage on these croutons as possible. Okay, so we're just going to take that, toss it around, and this is going to make really good croutons. It's really good use of your old bread. So if you have some old bread that's not really edible anymore, make croutons, okay? Now, according to all that I've read, croutons are not traditional to the salad. The 3 ingredients, vegetable-wise, for this salad are iceberg lettuce, radishes, and black olives, either whole or sliced. I'm going to use green olives with pimento. I'm not going to put radishes. Instead, I'm going to put cucumbers, roasted red peppers, and red onion. Okay, just because I think it'll add some more color, certainly add some more flavor, and really kind of amp up the Italian ingredients in the salad. Okay, so we're going to pour that out on here. You want to make sure you get a nice even layer. And again, we don't want to waste any of this butter. So I'm going to try and find some croutons that have kind of avoided my butter bath. Okay, and we're going to pop that one there. Okay, so there's our croutons. And you know what? Just to taste them up a little bit, I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil on them too. Okay, again, trying to get those ones that missed a coating. Okay, and they're just going to go in. You know what? They can go in while it's preheating, so that's fine. Okay, back to the dressing. So we have a cup of red wine vinegar. We have a cup of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Okay, basic vinaigrette base. Now, my immersion blender has this emulsifying disc. So I'm going to use that to emulsify this. Okay. And there's our vinaigrette base. Now we're going to add the other ingredients. Okay. So we're going to add um, a teaspoon teaspoon of basil. And I have this basil paste. So I'm going to use that. Okay. So that'll give it a nice fresh taste. I'm going to use a teaspoon of ground oregano. Okay. Just because that I think will give you kind of more uniformity of the flavor throughout. So that's a teaspoon of garlic salt, a teaspoon of pepper, and again, I'm using that Pepper Palace blend that I have. A teaspoon of parsley flakes. And I forgot one of my ingredients. I forgot the Parmesan cheese. And then, of course, all this lovely grated garlic. Okay. So let me just run and get that, and I will be right back. Okay. And I'm going to do a mixture. I'm going to do just like a dash of pecorino. And then I'm going to do, oh boy, I bought a tablespoon of the Parmesan. Okay. So that's like a teaspoon of pecorino and a tablespoon of Parmesan. Okay. Now we're going to okay, so I'm putting that in for like 10 minutes at 375 to make the crouton. All right, so now we're going to blend this up a little bit more. And we have our dressing. Okay. So that's our dressing. Then we have our croutons that are being made. We'll come back when they're done, and then we will get started on the salad. Okay, so we'll be right back. All right, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Our what are they called? Croutons are still working. So I'm gonna just keep on going on. So we're gonna put some red onions in purple onions, really is what they actually are. We're gonna put them into the feed tube here of the food processor. And we're just gonna slice them. And throw them in the bowl. I also have the lettuce, so let's cut that. And I'm just going to cut it into long strands, okay, like long slices. Okay, and we're going to put it in another bowl. This is the one we're going to serve it in, okay, but we're just going to put this in here and get these long strips of lettuce. That'll be our base. Oh gosh, all right. Gotta get another knife here. Okay, we'll put in our olives here. Green olives. We will put in our red onions. And that's going to free up our bowl for our cheese. Okay. So we're going to put that back on. Switch out our blades to our slicing or shredding blade. And this is an interesting Cuisinart. This is one of the few that was made in the USA. That for just a very short amount of time, they were made in the USA. And it seems to be only this classic line that was in there. Okay, let me get another knife here. Finish my cucumbers. So I cut the cucumbers into medallions, and now I'm gonna cut them into wedges. Okay. And again, I'm just trying to add color and texture to this salad mix. And you know, this is not traditional of what I've read. The whole point of this salad is the cheese is the star of the show. And don't worry, it doesn't look like we're gonna do that, but we will do that. Okay. And because it's just me, and I'm not gonna be able to eat this whole bowl of salad right now, I'm gonna take some of this salad mix and we're going to toss it now. This is kind of the dry stuff. And I'm going to put some of that in this bag here. Okay, just so that it doesn't go bad and I can use some later. Okay, so this will kind of amp up our cheese to salad ratio. Okay, so there's that. You know what? Let's just leave that for right now and go on to the cheese. So I'm going to use two different types of cheese. Okay, I'm going to use part skim, which is a little bit drier, and then I'm going to use whole milk. Okay, so there's our part skim. And here's our whole milk. Okay. 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 So our cheese is sliced and ready. And this, this is really the way to do cheese. You really want to grate it yourself. Okay. So the cheese is grated. Let's get the salad going. Okay, so I'm going to put some of these red roasted peppers on there. Okay, we're going to put some of our dressing on. And again, you're going to be generous with your dressing. Okay, this is a decadent salad. Now, again, this is my take on this based on what I read and making my own version of it. But if anyone from Akron or the Cleveland area is watching and you could give me insight into what I did right or what I did wrong, that would be great. Okay, so I'm going to throw some of these homemade croutons in there. And again, we're just going to give it a little toss here. And then we're going to pour it out into our container here. And you can see that is quite a dressed salad. Okay. Okay, so there's our salad base. I'm going to say base because really, according to everything I've read, the star of the show is the cheese. So now we're going to top it, and it should have like a mound of cheese on it. Okay. All right. So there it is. The Akron cheese salad, according to Joe. So I hope you try this. I don't want to break into it until I take pictures. So I can't imagine how this salad is not delicious, but I'm not going to be able to taste it on camera. But this looks really like my dream salad. So I am very happy with this, and I cannot wait to dig in. So bye for now, Kitchen Kings and Queens. I hope you enjoy.